Hello, I'm Casey Wilson, owner of Roseville Strength and Conditioning, and this is
Bradford O'Leary,
and
the better half, the co-host of the
former NASA astronaut.
former NASA astronaut.
Not.
Jealous of my pod partner's hat.
Yeah. We were just talking about my hat before we
Yeah.
got rolling today. So we're going to talk a little fitness today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Star Wars book I'm reading right now that has a little bit of Mara Jade and Luke, because there's nothing going on in Star Wars. You notice how much failures they've had? I think they're resetting right now. They're like going, you know what, we're not going to do a bunch right now.
Yeah.
Be quiet. So there's not a lot going on in the Star Wars world. We won't talk that much about it, but I keep like diving deeper into the books, trying to get caught, and then I find more, another Timothy Zahn book. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about life, what's going on.
Yeah.
And but first we're gonna talk a little fitness. So I have a lot of people, like this week I had a new person start, and we were discussing goals and what they're doing. And so I thought it might be a good something to touch on. We talked about goals a lot in the past.
Yeah.
But Brad and I both have some goals coming up. And so what are you training for, Brad?
Training for the Spartan 10K coming up in about, 3-4 weeks? In about a month?
About a month. I think almost a month to the day. Today's the 17th.
I know.
It's November 17th. So I'm scheduled to do that race too. I still haven't decided if I'm doing it or not, but I've lost my motivation to do Spartan races because I'm now training to do a High Rocks race in February. Yeah. And let me tell you what, I started training for that. That is brutal. I'm sore, I'm hurting, and it's been 2 days since I did it. So
I mean, can you I probably wouldn't do the Spartan 10K and then this brutal race, but then I'm not you.
Yeah, you can probably get on the Spartan 10K. I'm for sure doing the 5, but I don't know. We'll see. It's not the distance or anything. It's just I'm training. I'm not.
You're not training specifically for it.
Whenever the group fell apart this year, we're just like the two new people both canceled and said they weren't doing it.
Yeah.
So and then you and Matt were like, we're not doing the 5K, and then it got down to like 4 people doing it.
And then Dwayne, what happened to Dwayne?
Dwayne just has other stuff he's doing, so he just wasn't motivated that much. So I lost kind of my mojo for doing this. I think a few years ago, Spartan started, as with all organizations.
Yeah.
I think Spartan hit a peak, and then COVID happened, and it really hurt them. And then they tried to downsize everything, where they started using a lot more automation. They fired a lot of people, let go of a lot of people, and it became difficult to communicate with them. And then the races seemed to get dumbed down, where you're running penalty loops and you used to have to do burpees.
Yeah.
Like, would you be even trying the 10K right now if you had to do 30 burpees each time you failed?
Probably. Because I'm not crazy, but it's one of the reasons why I'm not doing the 5K, because it is so dumbed down, and I saw tons of people not doing anything.
Yeah, and there's no penalties or somebody monitoring anymore. It's kind of a fun race. It's like a fun one now, and it used to be hardcore.
Yeah. The first time I did it was way harder than the second time.
So that's why I'm excited about doing the High Rocks.
Yeah,
because you got to do your shit.
Yeah,
and I'm running with a partner. Yeah. So they're going to depend on me too. So I'm like, I got to get out and start doing this. So this week I did so it's a point in High Rock. So the whole point is to go over goals. You got to set goals for yourself and set these bigger things that you got to do. Like, you haven't done a sprint.
No,
a super. You've done sprint. But you haven't done a super. So you're like, this is the next level up. And so when you force yourself to go out and do double what you've done before, you got to prepare for it. And that's what you're doing, right?
Oh, yeah. I like being uncomfortable a little bit. I could have done the 5K, and I would have been like, you know what? Could have breezed through it. That's not the whole point. The whole point
both. That's part of the weekend, because you get up the next morning and you go, that's what I've done. I've done that twice. And there's people who do the whole weekend. They have trifecta weekends where you do the beast, super.
I'm not there.
Yeah, I've never done that. But for me, when I set goals, I want them to be hard.
Yeah.
And I don't find Spartan to be hard. It's not like I'm like, oh, look at my time. I crushed it. I finished on the podium. It's just there's no accountability out there anymore.
Yep.
There's nobody challenging you. Like, I did the age group race last year in the Central Valley for the Beast, and it was for the championship. But there was nobody monitoring us. There was nobody counting our reps out on the course or anything. It was do it how you're supposed to do it kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, take your head. Nobody was out there. I
Yeah.
watched. I was out there running the race with the guys that were competing for the age group championship for the North American Championships or whatever. And there was nobody. I was out there running with them. The first 6 miles, I was right with the top group, and then my calves gave out, and I had to walk for a bunch of it because I hadn't been able to. That's a long. I already went over that in the other podcast. Refer back to it,
Okay.
but
Old age catches up.
no, just I wasn't able to train and run like I was. My cardio was great, but I've been doing a bunch of bike work because my hips and lower back and abdominal areas, I was having all these weird muscles that were giving me the petness, which my massage therapist goes, I don't think I've ever had a petness this tight that I had to release.
Yeah.
And once she released it, it felt great, but then it would tighten up again as soon as I started running any distance. So it was really giving me some problems. So I didn't get to run as much. So my calves weren't accustomed to running that distance, 14 miles or so. So it was used to running 5 or 6 because I wasn't able to go any farther than that before I started having a lot of pain. But setting big goals and things that are motivating, doing new stuff. Like I've never done a high rocks. I did the DECA Fit, and I may do that again because that was really hard. But I did the DECA Fit not last year, but the year before in Sacramento. And now I'm going to do the High Rocks in Las Vegas. And it's just setting those big goals. And so you are working towards something.
Yeah.
So a lot of people come and see me as a trainer because they have goals. You had goals when you came in.
Yeah. Brad Pitt.
Yeah, he didn't quite make it.
Yeah,
but,
still working.
But he also is probably a foot taller than Brad Pitt. So,
yeah, not nearly.
so you're probably never going to look like him. And he's a much more handsome man.
But my goal, we've talked about this before. My goal is to lose 30 pounds. And like we crushed that.
Oh,
so then you just keep setting more goals.
Then you keep reevaluating your goals.
Yeah.
Like Spartan races don't appeal to me anymore, so I'm having a hard time getting motivated to do it. So then I look for something different. And the High Rocks races, DECA Fit, I always said after doing the first one, I went, okay, now I get this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be better prepared for the High Rocks. And like Sarah and I were talking, it's like we just need to work harder than what we would for the race.
Yeah.
And lift maybe like carry 5 pound heavier kettlebells and do a little heavier lunges and those things. It's the running though. So this week I did a 3 exercise loop. So I ran 0.62 miles, did the rowing machine, ran 0.62 miles, did the lunges, ran 0.62 miles, did the farmer's carries. And that last 0.62 mile, actually I ended up running 0.67 because I haven't got it measured out yet to 0.62. I have to make some adjustments next time I run and see if I can figure out to get exactly down to 0.62.
Yeah.
So I ran basically three, 2/3 of a mile runs.
Yeah.
And you have to do 8 of those, and you have to do 8 exercises. So I did 3.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that last run, my hip was hurting. I went from a pace of about 8.5 minute mile up to about 9.5 minute mile. My legs were burning.
That's how it goes.
When you start adding all those other exercises in, it really fatigues your leg. I didn't even push the tank or anything.
Yeah.
But doing lunges, doing those things that tap your legs out. And DECA Fit, they start the race off as you run.
Yeah.
And it's only a third, 0.31 miles on DECA Fit because you do it 10 times.
Yeah. But
it's still, High Rocks is longer because DECA Fit's about a 5K.
Yeah.
But you do 10 exercises in between that 5K.
Yeah.
High Rocks is 0.62 miles, but you're doing 8 exercises. But those 8 exercises are harder than any of the 10 exercises you got to do. Like instead of a 500 meter row, you got to do a 1,000 meter row. So everything's harder on High Rocks, but even though there's only 8 exercises.
Yeah.
But with the DECA Fit, the first thing you do is step back lunges with a 55-pound ramp.
Yeah.
Well, do 30 of those, 15 with each leg. Is it hard? Not by itself, but then when you try to take off running afterwards,
how relative. It's hard to me.
So then when you go, all right, I got done, and now I'm going to go run. All of a sudden, my time went down significantly. The first third of a mile run that I did. So,
and I was gonna say, you know what, my invitation to be your partner must have been lost in the mail. I was gonna joke, and then I thought, you know what, no, Sarah's way better of a partner than I'd be.
And we're doing mixed doubles, and I think that her and I at the speed that we can do, because she can run pretty well, and just because I have longer legs, she runs way more than I do. I hate running, but all the exercises I'll probably be at a little because she's going to have to do weights similar to the weights that the men do because we're doing mixed doubles. So when we split up, there's going to be times I think where we're doing those exercises where I'm going to be able to go a lot longer, harder, and then have her finish something off or start something, then have me finish it.
Yeah.
Who knows? We don't know yet. We haven't trained together yet for it. We're not going to do that until maybe December.
Yeah.
But I've definitely ramped up my training, and this week doing 3 of those. I'd only ever done over the last couple of weeks. I've done 1 or 2. I've done them on the treadmill. I went and ran outside where there's it was still 80 something degrees. It was brutal. So you got to have big goals, and you got to have some accountability.
I would have run if we would have been a partner. I'd be like, all right, I do all the running.
But everybody has to do a little bit of the.
I'll do like the last 2 reps of everything, and then you recover, and I'm just going to go run because I could run.
No, we have to run together.
Oh, okay.
You can't have one person run and one person do that.
Because I've been pounding out 12K runs twice a week now to get ready for the 10K because you got to put in loops.
Yeah. So the whole point is for goals, I have those goals and I set those goals. Brad has his goal. Originally, he had a weight loss goal.
Yep.
And just to get in shape and help his knee get stronger. Everybody has goals. So when you come in the door working with me or working with any trainer, or if you just decide you're going to do it on your own and you're going to start let's say you're 300 pounds, you're 5'6", and you just go, I'm going to go out and walk around the block 1 time a day, and I'm going to start eating healthier, and I'm going to lose this weight. Whatever it is, you start setting those goals. Number one, you're going to have to reevaluate those goals, because if you're really working hard, you're going to achieve those goals. And then you have to reevaluate to that next goal. Like Brad said, 30 pounds, and then what, you end up 89 pounds or something?
Yeah, well, I'm adding on. I'm keeping, but I'm almost already there right now.
Yeah.
Not healthily, but getting there.
Yeah. Brad's undulated a little bit since he hit his goal. He went up 20 pounds, dropped 10 pounds, went up 5 pounds. So he's undulated, but at one point you were down 89 pounds. I think it was the best that we had gotten to.
Yeah.
So,
but by the end of next week, I'll crush that because the way I'm dropping weight now.
Because he has a goal. He's doing the Spartan race and he's running hard, and he also has other issues.
But you know what? I'm not letting that stop me with my goals. I'm still working out.
And that's the whole thing. You got to be motivated. So I just did measurements this morning on one of my clients. Female, 56 years old, came in, wanted to lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's not somebody that you walk in and go, oh, she needs to lose a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
But as you get older, as you and I both know,
yeah,
the body doesn't want to change as much. So she's 56. She's going through all kinds of stuff in her life, and she just decided she had a motivation.
Yeah. And
she has worked very hard to achieve that. And now she's at a 12.5 pound body composition change. She's lost a bunch of inches off her body, and I'm very happy with the results. She's very happy with the results. She's working her butt off. She's eating clean. She's doing all the things you need to be doing to achieve real results. Because she set a goal and she was driven and she wanted to do it. That's what you have to do. So if you have goals and you want to achieve them, you can do it on your own. You don't need me. But probably 90% of people need me because most people won't hold themselves accountable. Most people will not, when it hits 5 o'clock that day, will not show up and do the workout on their own.
Yep.
They'll make excuses. They have this happen in their life. Oh, I can't possibly, or I have some type of problem like you're having right now, and you're like, oh, I'm not letting it stop me. Part of that is having a trainer in your corner, number one, to modify your workouts, make sure, let's say, one of my clients has achieved great results, but he threw his back out badly. He has like a bulging disc and a slip disc in his back, damaged discs, and, he was working out and his back wigged out, and he missed 2 weeks of working out. And now we're slowly easing him back into those. But he stayed with it, and he had me to come back to after the medical stuff, after he got it all calmed down. He had to take steroid shots, do all this anti-inflammatory stuff, but it's really racked his body with all kinds of other problems when you start doing that stuff. So now it's taken a good week and a half of just having him train to get him back in the groove again.
Yeah, but see, he's still coming in. Yep. You're good. You've helped me through all of my injuries and illnesses and everything.
And that's what a good trainer will do. And also but it all comes from you. You have to have a goal. You got to be motivated. You got to be driven to do it. And you can do it. You can change your life. That's what I do on a regular basis, is help people change their lives. And when I say that, it really is true. Because let's say,
I had great self-esteem until you crushed me. So you really.
That's not true. Brad walked in the door at one place, and he's at a different place now.
Yeah.
Can I fix all your ills and all the problems in your life? No. But I've had people tell me I got a promotion at work because of you, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm so much more confident. I walk around differently. I wear clothes differently. I don't do things the way I did them when I was 100 pounds overweight or 40 pounds overweight or 30 pounds overweight. And so that's why you have to have those goals and be driven. And that's why also somebody like me who's a trainer who's in pretty good shape at all time, I have to set higher goals. So I'm going to be in way better shape February 1st when that race comes around than I am sitting here today. But it's because I'm going to have to put in a bunch of work to get there at a higher level than what I do on a regular basis. I keep myself in good shape. I keep myself moderately, you know, in the right weight zone. During the holidays, though, is usually when I plump up a little bit.
Well, I would
guess
say
what? Those holidays, I cannot plump up. I got to be 10 pounds lighter when that race happens, you know. So I need to be around.
Bulk up. I wouldn't say plump up. Like
I will put muscle on
you put muscle on, you get thick. I wouldn't say it's fat.
Well, some of it's fat. The midsection usually plumps up. The rest of me plumps up too. But this winter I cannot do that because I got that February 1st race.
See,
and I want to be in really good shape because it's in Vegas, and then I'm spending the rest of that day doing stuff in Vegas.
Yeah,
I'm racing at 7-something in the morning, and then the rest of the day is spent going to Hell's Kitchen.
You got your wife now.
My wife's going, and she's real motivated to get herself back in tip-top shape because she had a knee surgery last year that really has set her back, and so she's starting to now do regular workouts again.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun, you know, and it's good to have these goals, but you have to be driven and you got to set those goals, and then you have to readjust those goals when you reach them. Because that original goal, a lot of times you don't expect yourself to do so well.
Yeah.
Then when you do really well, especially when you're working with me, I have lots of people come in and go, I don't know, I've tried doing this a lot in the past and I failed and stuff. Then they come and start working with me and they start seeing that progress, and all of a sudden, 2 months later, they've already reached their goal and they thought it was going to take longer. And then they're like, well, I'm at my goal, but this isn't what I ultimately want. I want more. That's what most people
That's what happened to me. And it's amazing, too. Like, once you hit, like, your first kind of modest goal, you start to see a little bit of results. Then, like, your whole mind is like, oh, my God, like, it's working.
Yeah.
And you want to just keep chasing that high.
So the big thing about working with a trainer is, number one, you got that accountability, but the knowledge base. Yep. But a lot of people will go out and start walking.
Yeah.
They'll be given exercises by a doctor or a chiropractor or whatever it is. And that's all fine and dandy. But if you don't know what you're doing, number one, you can do those things wrong. You can hurt yourself. Yeah. You can follow a piece of paper so far. You can watch YouTube and watch workouts. Maybe those workouts weren't really for you.
Or you overdo it, hurt yourself.
But when you come in and work with somebody who knows what they're doing, so you look at the person who has a 12-pound body composition change. Yeah. She lost 10.5 pounds of fat and gained over a pound of muscle, which all equaled out to 12.5 pound body composition change. But she built muscle while losing that weight. Yeah. Now I can't factor in water weight, so there's a little variation there. But she hasn't lost a bunch of muscle. She's gained. She's gotten stronger. Yeah. She's gotten fitter, and she's changed her body composition. Yeah. So she's only 8 pounds away from her ultimate goal. And she's fitter, stronger. She's not weaker. So many people come in, they go, I lost 80 pounds. Yeah. And they're still 200 and something pounds, but they lost a bunch of weight because they were overweight. They did the shake, program diet with their doctor, but they're like, but I'm just so exhausted and tired because they lost a bunch of muscle. Yeah. Because when you're no longer carrying 300 pounds anymore, you start losing muscle mass, which is great. You're going to do that when you're working out, but that doesn't mean you can't strengthen up the muscle you have. As you're losing that, you can't, if you're doing weight training, you're doing body weight exercises, you're doing core training, you're making your body stronger. And that's the big difference when you're working with a trainer and you're setting goals, is they're holding you accountable and they want you to achieve those goals. People don't want to give me money if I'm not helping them achieve their goals. That's how I make money. And I like you. Yeah. So Brad's always like, I can't do this. Or I can't. That's a lot of money. I got too many bills going on. But you get that a lot. But the people that are going to, and Brad spent plenty of money over the time. But now that he's in better shape, he doesn't have to come and spend, he should for his shoulders and elbows, but he doesn't come and spend as much private time sessions, but he still comes to group class and he does those things to maintain his fitness. But if I don't help you get to your goals, why are you going to use me? That's right. I want you to go and tell all your friends why you lost all this weight and how strong you are. Look at this bicep, and I didn't even think I had a bicep, and now look at this. Look at this, or look at my butt. It looks so good. And it used to be all saggy and flat. Those are things that you want. And when people start asking you, you're going to tell them, well, my trainer helped me. And then you give them my name and number, or here's his website. Go see it, RosevilleStrengthAndConditioning.com, RSC.com. You look up Roseville Strength and Conditioning on social media, on Instagram. Or
you can see a fat me.
Yeah. His picture is, his before and after pictures are on.
Yeah. I think I gave you a testimonial, like one of my higher weights.
Yeah. Yeah. So Brad is on there. I have a lot of before and after pictures on there from clients that would actually take them. A lot of clients don't like taking before pictures. So I try to get them to bring in pictures once they've lost a lot of weight. I go, well, you got fat pictures. Most people do.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them. And hopefully they have fat pictures to bring in from their life before they lost the weight. So that's about, for goal setting, you got to have a goal, you got to have a time period, and you're probably going to need some help. Roseville Strength and Conditioning does online training too. So if you're watching this and you're in Florida,
check the notes. I'll put it all in the notes.
I can do online training for you, and there's an accountability aspect. Online training. Yeah. You get your workouts from me, designed for you. I don't like do any automated thing where I go, oh, well, I'm just going to put, their goals in or anything. I actually pick each exercise out. I actually am in the process. I have said it before, but I film some more now.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of building up my own personal library of demonstrating exercises because I don't always like the ones that the app has on it.
Yeah.
And I can upload my exercises. So I'm in the process of editing the ones I've done and filming some more. I didn't realize how many exercises I have, all different levels. I need to film deadlifts, but I need to film it with dumbbells, with barbell, with the RAM.
Yeah.
With the sandbag, because when I'm telling somebody to do a sandbag deadlift, they don't want to see me doing them for barbell. So there's lots of variations on each exercise, but I'm building that library.
Can you do them shirtless?
No. I'll do it in the shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
But I also have a comprehensive nutrition program. So if you want to do the nutrition program, I can do the thing where I punch in all the information that I want you, the amount of calories, the macronutrients I want, and then it kicks out a meal plan for you. Or you can also do a plan where I actually make your meal plan step by step. And most people I've been surprised because everybody used to always want me to make their meal plan like real specific, but I'll only do it for like a week or two at a time.
Yeah.
And they got to stick to those foods in that meal plan before I'm going to adjust it or change it, right? Well, this one, I enter in all that information, I plug it all in, and then I also can go through and take all the foods you dislike because I send you a like or dislike form. You tell me what foods you like or dislike, and if you say I hate olives, which one of my clients recently did, I had to go through and take out 4 different types of olives because those were what was available in there. So they didn't show up in his meal plan. So, and if you're a vegan or if you're gluten, I can plug all this information. It's like, I want this person to eat 1,800 calories. I want 40% to be carbs, 40% protein, 20% fat, and then I can add the foods that I like. And it's awesome. And it'll print out a meal plan for it'll give you variations for every day or the whole week. You'll be on one meal plan with slight variations in it, or you can have a different meal plan every day. It gives you a grocery list to go with it.
Yeah.
So it's a great program. So you can come train with me personally, or you can train online with me. So there's no reason for you not to reach your goals.
And if you put in extra money,
you see that long gap right there?
Yeah.
Now you can clip it.
Oh.
And just have a separate podcast.
That's true.
Just on fitness goals.
I was going to say, if you add the premium accounts, you can watch Casey yell at me doing my things online, I'm sure.
No.
Make me cry.
I probably could record you doing stuff yourself in there.
Yes.
On my security system, but I do not.
Well, you know what? So I like working on the low coin.
I'm either telling you a lie or the truth, but I don't have memory cards. So I can see what's going on, but I can't. Or I may be lying and I've recorded you doing a bunch of crazy shit.
You know what?
I'm waiting to go, hey, you know what, Brad? I'm a little short this month. I need $2,000. Don't want to put this out on the internet.
My wife really wants to go to Bora Bora, and unless I see the airline ticket,
our honeymoon count's a little light.
Yeah, we might need a donation.
Yeah.
And we're
So-
putting you out working naked in the loincloths.
So that's goals. That's getting that stuff done. So
That's good.
if you have any questions, please respond to. You can put comments. Brad probably peruses the Spotify and Apple comments more.
Yeah,
I try to pay it when I.
you don't. You're bad with the
No,
YouTube
we haven't
comments.
had any YouTube comments recently.
Well, it's because like Matt
We don't
posted
get them
one
out
like a year and a half ago.
yeah,
and,
but we don't
it's
get the
fun.
like on the other ones where you tell me, oh, we got
Yeah.
100 listens or 300 or whatever,
Yeah.
like unique listens. We only get like 9 or 10. You know what I have to do, and I just don't have time to do it, is make shorts.
Yeah,
The little short ones I made were getting like 100,
I
150
know.
views.
your marriage one blew up on the Apple, the non-YouTube
Oh, yeah?
version. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I got an email that it set the record at like 212 unique listens.
Oh, okay. I thought you said when you went, you got like almost 300 whenever you went on that other guy's podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So you
no, people are listening
you
to
need to get married more often.
I know. Like,
Can we do a podcast from your wedding ceremony?
a lot of it is Italian. You could film some video from it, I guess.
Live from
You can film some video and add it in or something.
Casey's wedding.
This is the Do Not podcast.
Yes. This is,
Casey's up there right now, actually. Singing his vows, and
that's the first time you'll see him without his black T-shirt on
Yeah.
and joggers.
I have a white and gray one of these too.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. You need to get one with like the little tie around it.
It's almost jacket and hoodie time.
I know. Oh, can't wait.
So let's discuss a little Star Wars.
All right. You
So-
told me about this book, so I'm excited.
There ain't shite going on with Star Wars right now. They're not even announcing anything. Like, it is silent because after the debacle of the Acolyte,
Yeah.
the horrible ratings. I mean, they've said there's all kinds of rumors going around that they've canned the Rey movie. Disney doesn't say this stuff, but people that are Disney, that
Yeah.
are inside Disney, leak the information.
It's like
to
it's on
sources.
permanent hold or something.
Yeah, it's like been put on hold because of all the they're just not making money on Star Wars because they're doing such a horrible job at it, and that they're hoping to maybe like they're going to take a break. So I think we got
Skeleton Crew
coming up,
and Andor season 2.
yeah, and the Andor isn't coming out until next year,
Yeah.
and then there's really no shows.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
There's
past that.
Ahsoka too, but they're filming Grogu and Mandalorian right now. So
Yeah.
there's not a lot going on. So this is the time
to
you should
read.
get into some Star Wars books because you will have such a greater understanding. Now, are these canon? No. They're considered legend
They
or
should be.
extended universe. But guess what all these great creative Star Wars people at Disney are doing? They're plucking these characters out of the books. They're not telling the backstory. They're not telling the story that's in the book. They're just
Yeah.
taking the characters and taking the characters' backstory and throwing them in like Mara Jade. We have not seen her yet, but the rumor is
Yeah.
she's coming and Karen Gillian is playing her.
The only one who could.
There are rumors though, because Disney has never came out and said that. She
Yeah.
hasn't showed up at any, panels. She hasn't showed up at any. But the rumor is Karen Gillian, who's perfect to play Mara Jade.
Yep.
And if you don't know who Mara Jade is, it's this redheaded woman right here who starts off in the book that I'm reading right now.
Yeah.
She started off as the hand of the emperor. She was basically his eyes and ears, and
Yes.
she went and ferreted out corruption and the rebels around the empire for the emperor.
No, just
Well,
clarification.
you got to let me explain. Who
I
she
know,
is.
but I mean, the book you're talking about is before Heir to the Empire, where we
Yes.
meet Mara Jade.
Yeah, Mara Jade,
Mara
not
Jade.
Mary Jane.
Sorry, Mara
This
Jade.
guy's smoking too much weed.
Oh, you know it.
Devil's lettuce. So I'm just going over her backstory. I'm not even
Okay.
getting into the book yet. So Mara Jade started off, she was a Force sensitive. She eventually, in the future, well, she's trying to kill Luke, and then they end up getting together and becoming husband and wife and have a kid, and she becomes a Jedi Master.
Yeah.
But at this time, the Emperor trains her
Mhm.
in the ways to use the Force, but just enough to go out and do his bidding.
Is this Palpatine?
Palpatine, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? There could have been more than one.
There was one emperor in the canon universe. Now that Now, if we go further back, there was emperors of the Sith Empire.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
But the emperor, there's only one of them.
All right.
And she was the hand of the emperor. And in some books, they insinuate that there was other hands of the emperor too.
Mhm.
But she was the main one. And guess what? Towards the end of the book, guess
Yeah.
who her and somebody else just had a big confrontation. Who do you think?
Darth? Oh, yeah!
So they're basically at the time, because Thrawn really isn't,
Yeah.
up in that upper echelon yet.
Yeah.
But this time, the two closest people to the emperor has out doing his bidding, is Mara Jade, the hand of the emperor,
Yeah.
and Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
And they cross paths twice in this book.
Oh.
And they're currently crossing paths. And Darth thought she was after the same, she was after
Yeah.
Leia Organa Solo.
Yeah.
Or Leia, Princess Leia.
Yeah.
We won't go, she isn't
Yeah.
solo yet. It's long before her and Han knock boots and get married and have kids. So he's at this planet because Leia's on the planet and has been seen, and they shut down all the ports and they know she's on the planet, right? Right now, Luke and Han and 4 deserter stormtroopers are going to the planet and to do stuff, and there's all this corruption. There's 2 stories going on.
Yeah.
Mara's after the governor of the planet, who's
Yeah.
been building up these forces of pirates and stuff and stealing Empire war materials like hats and stuff and ships and trying to start his own army out there.
Yeah.
And so he's against the Empire, but more for his own, not for like the rebels are against the Empire.
Yeah.
He's more trying to start his own little
army.
fiefdom out there where
Yeah.
he can resist the Empire a little bit or whatever. But he's corrupt and stealing money and stealing stuff. So anyway, Mara Jade's after him, and Darth Vader is after Leia. But Darth thinks for a short time that she's after Leia when she goes aboard his ship, and he attacks her, and she just her quick wits and her ability to use the Force, she pulled her lightsaber out, and then shut the lights off and rolled away, and it takes him a second for his mask to adjust, and she was able to escape, and then he was able to calm down and go, "Oh, you're not after, what did the governor do or whatever?" He all of a sudden calms down because he has that rage.
Yeah.
He got rage thinking that she was after Lane. She's mine,
Tell me he would have won though, right?
Oh, easily.
I don't want my Darth Vader to be
he
powered down.
And she knows she was just trying to survive long enough to get out or to calm him down. Because he'd never seen him get rage filled like that. So anyway, there's just so much good stuff. So she is the hand of the Emperor in the book. So this takes place after Luke blew up the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
And Mara is the hand of the Emperor, and they're trying to find their way around. They're trying to consolidate the forces. Like the Empire is still chasing down, the rebels, and they basically have taken. They go, we don't care about pirates anymore. We don't care about any of this stuff. The local governors can handle that of worlds, and we're only focused on getting the rebels and all their sympathizers. And they're doing horrible atrocities like killing whole villages because rebels have been there in the past. They're just like going through and committing all these. They blew up Alderaan, obviously, but then the stormtroopers went in and just killed everybody in this village because the rebels have been there recently. They're doing all this stuff and they're just trying to crush the rebellion. That's all the Emperor cares about is crushing the rebellion. As you see in the movies, he's in that same exact space. So this is after the first Death Star is blown up. Yeah. And so Darth's out after Leia. She's escaped and he wants her. That's a failure. She got away on the Death Star and then blew the Death Star. So he's just rage filled. Yeah. It's his failure.
Oh, that's awesome. I love the enraged.
But Mara's doing all this stuff and using her Force abilities because she can heal, she can use the lightsaber, she can sense things coming. She has all the abilities that the Emperor, but he's only like, let's say he trained her 25% at the most of what her capabilities are. Just enough to make her a nice weapon for him to get out there and rooting out evil and just taught him all this espionage stuff and how to root out
more controllable
stuff. Well, she's not powerful. She's not a threat to him. He can just take her out with a wrist if she decided to go against him, right? So this book is there's 2 different big stories going on in it, and then they converge together. Remember how Bad Monkey you were talking about? There's these separate stories, and all of a sudden they converge together, and they all overlap, which is right where I'm getting. They're all right at the end of the book right now. So it's awesome. But it starts out with, so the Empire kills everybody in this village, and these 4 stormtroopers that are really close, 5 stormtroopers that are really like close knit group.
Yeah.
This ISB, which is basically like the SS of the stormtroopers. They're like kind of like the security force, but also they're have a little bit of independence, and they're like considered at a higher level, and they do a lot of security stuff and a lot of espionage type things, and they're trying to root out bad, actors.
Yeah.
But they're also kind of like the SS troops for the Nazis,
Yeah.
Like, so you had the German army, but you also had the SS.
Yeah.
And so that's what the ISB is kind of like for the Empire, is they do all this horrible shit, and they're the ones that are ordering villages to be killed, and like everybody in it to be killed, women, kids, everything, just kill them all. That kind of stuff. So these stormtroopers are a part of that, and they're told to kill, and some of them didn't.
Yeah.
Some of them refuse to fire, and they have records of it. And so the guy who's in charge confronts them and goes, "You're this. You didn't fire when you were told to fire. You didn't execute." Like I think one of them did, but the rest didn't. And so there's like an argument, and the stormtrooper just reflexively shoots him and kills him because. And then
not all clones can be perfect.
But remember, these weren't clones.
Oh, that's right.
Recruits. These weren't clones.
Oh, that's right.
And so they really believe in the Empire, but they don't believe in what's happening there and some of the stuff that's starting to happen because Palpatine's starting to use that darkness.
Yeah.
It's no longer, we're trying to build a better, more constructive place where everybody is like there's order and peace and all this. He's going after the rebels. He's gotten dark. And they're just starting to kill a lot of people. They blew up Alderaan, which they all dislike.
Yeah.
And then so these guys end up killing this high-level ISP guy.
Yeah.
Who's one of the people that's in charge of this whole attack on this planet. I think it's called Teardrop or something. It's a city, and they went through and slaughtered everybody. But these certain stormtroopers refused to do it. They're like, I'm not killing innocents. These are the people we're supposed to protect.
Yeah.
They're like conscious, and they're not like some mindless stormtrooper behind a helmet. They're actually people, and so they kill them, and so then they steal a ship, and then they make a smart escape. They're very smart. They're really good storm. They're not, the stormtroopers that miss the shot that they take. Yeah. So there's them. Then you have Luke and Leia and Han and Chewie and the Rebellion, and they're out there trying to recruit in the same sector.
Yeah.
So Leia goes to the planet because they're told that the governor wants to become part of the rebellion, but he needs to be, he's doing it through back channels that he wants to. And so anyway, it's all a scam to try to root out through, like it's all a scam because he wants to actually have his own war.
Yeah.
But the governor has one of the empires, like he eventually becomes very well known, but he becomes Moff Deestra eventually. But he's like, I forget, Counselor Deestra or something. He's there to guide and counsel the governor with what the Empire wants, kind of like but the governor decides what's happening. This governor is like pretty powerful guy anyway. So it's like, and so Leia's going to try to recruit them. Then all this stuff's happening with all these pirates, these blood scar pirates and stuff.
They're all
Han and Luke, and then those stormtroopers get connected with Han.
Oh yeah.
And at first they're holding them, that they're like both suspicious. They're like, who are these, stuff. They're trying to figure each other out, and then they eventually figure each other out. But they decide now the point that they're all going to be on this planet. They're all going to this planet. So they're all on it. They're trying to somehow they'll get Leia out.
Yeah.
Because obviously she survives.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Can't really kill her yet.
No. And so then Vader's there. They have the prawns there. All the corruption. The governor who was doing this. And I want to know how Deestra gets out of this because he was hand in hand with the governor, all this stuff. But yeah, he called Vader's there because he called out and said, we got Leia Organa, Princess Leia on this planet, and we locked down the port. She can't get out. Yeah. And he sent a message back to Coruscant, and that's why Vader's there. Yeah. So it is awesome. And so you don't have any shows.
You don't
have any of this other stuff Vader. Oh yeah. Pissed off Vader. Vader's prime Vader. Mark Thompson does a good job doing his voice. This is a Timothy Zahn book.
Oh, yeah.
So well written. Bringing everything, like I'm coming to the head right now. But you got young Luke, who, here's the thing that's so awesome. He has 3 or 4 conversations with Obi-Wan's ghost. Not his ghost, but the voice is talking to him. He's actually talking to him and telling him things.
Yeah.
He's guiding him and trying to get him to see stuff, but sometimes he actually is giving him instruction.
That's awesome.
Because when he goes, I'm going to become more powerful than you ever. Yes, but you only really you hear like when Han finds him in after he's with the ice monster.
Yeah.
You hear that. You see him when he's with Yoda. But there's so much more if you were to follow the books, go by the books, where Obi-Wan's guiding him through all these formative, like he hasn't met Yoda yet. He hasn't developed the skills.
Just give all the money.
Obi-Wan's trying to teach him from the other side.
Yeah.
And so there's all these great interactions with him and Obi-Wan. It is a great book. And I thought I was done with all the Timothy Zahn Star Wars. And then I find this one and I'm like, wait a second, what the hell? Where is this before? So I should really go back and look at the dates all these are released, because I think I'm just like, I keep like going, I'm going through and looking for Star Wars books that fit the parameters. So I don't want any stuff after Disney had bought it.
Yeah.
But there's been a bunch of these books that have been done after Disney's bought it that are Legends books, like Old Republic type stuff.
So let me get the true order. So you watch Episode 3, New Hope. Then you do this book.
Yeah.
And then you go 4 and 5. And then Empire, the Heir to the Empire after 5.
No, there would be I Jedi, which would be before he meets Yoda.
Okay.
So you would do number 1.
Yep. Episode 3.
You would do those 2 books.
Yeah.
Then you would do, and you know what? There's other stuff. There's stuff I may not have gotten to that. I have a list of books still that I'm trying to get done by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I get them all done. But there's Vader books. There's other ones in there. There's stuff that. But so far, that's how it would be. Is there would be those 2 books in between Star Wars. The last 2 I just read are in between New Hope and Jedi.
Yeah.
But I think there's ones that are in between Empire and Jedi too.
Yeah.
That I haven't read. So there's so much. Right now is the time to do it. Skeleton Crew, maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Maybe it's
for kids.
Well, we don't know yet. We haven't seen it. I think it looks halfway decent. But I thought the Acolyte, from some of the crap they were giving us, I was like, well, maybe it's good. I don't know. We have to watch it. And by 2 episodes in, I was just like, what a pile of crap. Then the 3rd episode made me almost puke. So
yeah, you do really, really. I held out hope until
held out hope. But by the 3rd episode, I was like, complete manure and crap. And the only reason I watched past episode 3 of the Acolyte is because this guy wanted to do shows on it, and then it disappears.
Our friendship almost ended right then and there.
I tell you, man, I almost said that I'm not doing this podcast anymore. But
Jeremy, where are you?
It survived. But so just read the books. There's nothing going on for a while. The movies aren't coming out until 2026.
Yeah, everything's taken forever.
Yeah, and it's a good thing because they've shit the bed so much in Star Wars. Disney Star Wars has crapped the bed over and 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 over again.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Rogue One, pretty good, decent. I wouldn't say it's like a top-notch Star Wars movie. I think it's the 7th best after the prequels and the original trilogy.
Here's my top 3 Disney Star Wars series. I'm gonna go
Rebels.
Better
than Clone Wars.
I don't count that as Disney. I'll say live action.
It was one of the first things Disney did was Rebels.
Okay, I'll put Rebels. I will say Rogue One's a movie, so I don't count. I'm calling series. So I will say Mandalorian season 2, Mandalorian season 1.
Cartoons.
Yeah, and then Andor season 1 or be my 3 in order. What about you?
I would go Mandalorian season 1 and 2, and then Rebels.
Okay.
And then Ahsoka.
Yeah, Ahsoka being my number 4.
Yeah, I liked Ahsoka. There's a lot of people who don't like Ahsoka, but you finally get Thrawn. Is it metrosexual Thrawn? Yes, but it's still Thrawn. His voice is Thrawn. His mannerisms are Thrawn. He's just not the most impressive looking human being or alien being.
The people who followed Rebels, I thought always gave Ahsoka really high ratings, and the people who had no idea about Rebels are watching Ahsoka like, what? I don't understand any of this.
I saw some people talk about it, and they hated the animation of Rebels, so they refused to watch it. They wanted it to be more like Clone Wars, and I was like, I didn't like the animation of Clone Wars. Yeah. That's one of the reasons it took me so long to watch the Clone Wars the first time all the way through is, I mean, I loved the stories. I loved the canon. I like all the stuff that happened, like with the Mortis gods. I loved all the stuff with Yoda and Mace Windu. There was so much great stuff in Clone Wars, but it was so choppy.
Yeah.
And it was short, and I didn't like the animation.
Yeah.
And Rebels was none of that stuff. And I loved the story, and I liked the animation. And I'm not a big cartoon person, but I liked Rebels way more, and I liked the story. And do I think that they could have done Ahsoka better? Yes. But I liked it still.
Yeah.
I won't give it a 4 out of 4 stars, but I would give it,
Yeah.
2.5 to 3 stars, because I liked it. Probably 2.5 stars out of 4.
So you're diving
We
in
did kettlebells, right? 5 kettlebells.
5 out of kettlebells.
I give it 3.5 kettlebells out of 5 because I really liked it.
I am really gotten into pre-Star Wars, pre-Disney Dark Horse comics, especially their What If books. So the one that I recently read not too long ago was what happened when Luke Skywalker struck down Palpatine and went to the dark side. And for a while, Vader and him were terrorizing, Anakin and his son were terrorizing the galaxy until Luke just kept getting more and more power, took down his dad, and then just took the galaxy to the woodshed. Just became prime godlike Luke that you see in the Legacy books, but just the evil version would just go to a planet and just devastate it and just completely unleash the full force of him
for him to
do this.
For him to be godlike, he would have to be on the dark side because he'd have to harness all those powers.
Yes.
When he's in the Legends, he's not godlike. He just is the most powerful Jedi in the universe.
Yes. And now he is
out of a lot, and there's a lot of other powerful Jedis.
Yeah.
But you got to remember the same way Palpatine was so powerful because he was harnessing all the dark energy.
Yeah.
Because there was only one, or there's a handful. There was Darth Maul, and there was Vader eventually, and there was, Ventress and Dooku and stuff. But almost all of it was channeled into him.
So when Luke struck down Palpatine, Vader made the play to get most of the thing. He was like the Empire. He was like Empire Vader.
Yeah.
And Luke hid his power from him from a long time because Vader was like, even though you're my son, I don't fully trust you, and kept trying to keep him at bay because Vader knew that unchecked Luke would overwhelm him because he was old, he was in his armor.
Yeah.
And then when Luke finally sprung the trap, it was this massive battle on the Vulcan planet, where the volcano planet that Darth lived. Luke went there and he pretty much shattered the planet in half and took out Lord Vader with him.
I'm not a what if person.
Oh, so good. And then you see
if I read it and I go, but this never happened, and it isn't going to happen. So we know what happened. So I don't care about like when I tried to watch the Marvel what ifs, and I went, fucking bullshit. If it's going to happen, it never's going to happen.
With Darth Vader's lightsaber and his own lightsaber, he walks up the ship when like the planet's starting to fall in upon itself, and he looks out into the galaxy and smiles, and that was like into the next step. I was like, oh,
it is entertaining.
Yeah.
For me, I have a hard time because it's like I can read all these books, and there's a chance that some of these books may eventually become movies or become shows or programming. That never will, because Star Wars doesn't have infinite universes. It doesn't have a multiverse. So you could say some of those what ifs, like, what's her face becomes Captain Britain or whatever, and all these different things can happen.
The multiverse.
Yeah, there isn't a multiverse in Star Wars. It's a galaxy far, far away. It's just one thing, and this has happened. There's no what ifs. I mean, they can make what ifs books. None of that shit's going to happen. So I don't want to read. I just is a waste of my time to read it. But I'm not saying it isn't cool.
Yeah. Oh, when Luke took out Yoda, went down to the planet, and said, "All right, killing everybody." And Yoda was the first time Yoda was ever scared.
But Yoda died.
Not this one, because he died teaching Luke. Luke never got to that point. This is different.
Luke was trained by Yoda before he ever was confronted by Vader.
Not on this timeline. It was awesome.
You know why? The same reason all of us real hardcore Star Wars people have so many problems with the Acolyte. How Kamundi was dead, basically. Then by the time Clone Wars happened, and Plagueis wasn't even,
supposed to be 15 years old or something.
And that's why, because we believe in the canon. And
Yeah.
like, in Disney, unfortunately, has the power of the canon right now,
Yeah.
and they're bastardizing it by plucking characters out of the extended universe.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're so creative and you want to create something that George Lucas didn't create, guess what? George Lucas signed off on a bunch of these books to be
Yeah.
made. He had approval of these books to be made. Timothy Zahn was allowed to write these books because George Lucas said, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And George Lucas has said, I don't like all the books, and I wanted, that wasn't necessarily my vision for it.
Yeah.
I honored it had to be a Star Wars type of book.
Yeah.
And within that parameters of it, is what
Yeah.
he wanted. And so, I don't like any of what Disney's doing, but they have the power of canon right now. Which is horrible because they don't got a real Disney person running it.
Because they made Luke a
I
quitter.
don't even know if Filoni is really a George
Don't give up on my boy.
Did you watch The Acolyte all the way through? I gotta kind of give up on him if he's the chief trade off. I don't care if he wasn't in power or whatever.
I think that
The
was
stuff that he led through.
I think that
holy
was
crap.
well in the can
I'll
before
tell
he
you
got
what.
that.
I'll tell you what. Everything that comes out here in the future, it better be George Lucas Star Wars. No Disney bullshit from executives
Yeah.
like Kathleen Kennedy. No Lindsley Headland bullshit, or else Dave Filoni, you're bye-bye. None of us. Right now, I have a 50-50 on him. Before, I used to be like, love Dave Filoni. You hear him talking. It's Star Wars. It's George Lucas Star Wars. He loves George Lucas. He did the Clone Wars. We had the Rebels and Ahsoka and the Mandalorian, and then everything. It's like, what, you stay in Hollywood too long and now you've been corrupted? That's my worry. He's been in Disney Star Wars so long that he doesn't really understand what the fans want anymore. That he's trying to be PC and woke and all this stuff instead of telling good stories.
Ahsoka season 2 will be his big test because that's his.
Mandalorian and Grogu is going to come out before that, so that's going to be his big test. That's going to be at the movie theater.
Isn't that more John?
No, it's his. He's the executive producer.
All right. Well, then, that'll be his big thing. And
remember, he's in charge of every storyline of any
Star
Wars project now. Now.
I don't count the Acolyte towards him, so I'm still 100%.
His name's on there as the producer of the Acolyte.
Yeah, but he got in there.
I got questions. Maybe he could answer them, and because I like him, I like when I hear him talk. I like his knowledge of the extended universe legends, but
I'm not giving up on you. I'm still Team Filoni.
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, man, that was great.
Good.
I like your hat.
Yeah.
I've seen you work out for this dumb race you're doing, so I know you're preaching.
Yeah, that workout. I did a workout the other day in the middle of the day, and that workout was brutal. And I'm still like, my feet hurt, my calves hurt. Running on cement and pavement is just not as good as running out on trails. Yeah,
I see. I can't do trails because if I hit a rock funny, I could twist my knee in them out. I like nice.
Well, that's what you got. That's why you do all this hard stuff, is so you can trust your body to go out and do this stuff.
You saw me try to do a lunge.
Well, you've been doing too much curls
and
push downs
for nothing.
Right. All right, so that's the show for today, and we will see you soon.